Hey guys, Dabu7. I want to share with you here an interesting story, just because it's things like this that need answers. And a shout outs to Erick M that put the story out over on iCitizens News. This is in relation to the big earthquake that hit New Zealand. Now, we had witnessed where rock was thrusted up through the sand, where sea creatures were then pushed up, above the water, exposed. A lot of other devastation, the dam breaking, a lot of red flags with the whole thing, period. But with the damage done, all the roads that were taken out, buildings crumbled, there were some things that happened and that have happened since. And this is pretty crazy. I want to share with you the image. This thing apparently has washed up on shore. How long it's been sitting there, exactly when it washed up, we don't know. But this is my call out to anyone in New Zealand that can hear my voice. And we are heavily censored. So I'm hoping that someone out there in New Zealand hears my voice, can figure out the location of this and get down to it and get us some images and get some information, because this did not come up through the sand, so to speak. It's not like halfway sticking out. This thing's sitting on the ground. There's no hole that it came out of. They're saying that it washed up. At first, some thought that it was a whale, deceased or something. They couldn't explain it. But when you look at this thing closer, it looks like what they're calling these, like the dreadlock type things. It looks like, at first glance, clams that are attached to it. You see? But then some of them open with more tentacles, almost like a flower budding here. But you can see these tentacles come down and end in these. Like, these are attached to the tentacles. These are the bottom. Whether these are the suction cups or this is how this thing feeds. Through all these different tentacles. I mean, it's crazy. And, things don't have to be out of this world. There's a lot crazier stuff in that ocean than people realize. I'm telling you right now, and you're seeing one of them. If you saw this underwater on the ocean floor, you would probably say it's built into the earth, the rock. But once you see this out of that element, up here, you see that it's not. That it's almost like its own entity. It's very interesting. Like all these tentacles are feeding back into one thing. If there's no name for it, there needs to be. And if there's anyone up there that can get down to this thing, to walk up to it, get some video, fly a drone around it, open one of these things up, see if they move, see if it's responsive to touch, see if the thing moves over days. If this thing can actually move on its own, maybe that is part of the reason why it's here, because this is massive. There would have had to have been a big high tide unless it came in with the tsunami, but all that information with this is vague. One thing we do know is that the people that see it down here are like, what the heck is this? They're saying the same thing. They're saying, the woman that posted the photo say, this strange thing washed up here in the Muriwai and Waiamauku area. Hope I said that right, but that's there's a community Facebook page here you guys can go and check out for more information. But I really urge anyone that's in this area that can get down here to check this out. Regardless, this is a pretty wild find, and you could get exclusive photos and information, and once in a lifetime find or see. Very rare, and it just goes to show, who knows what's out there in that ocean. But, getting down there will tell us a lot. If this thing's moving on its own, the whole nine, it deserves some attention, I think. Very interesting. And if, they can come out and tell us this is part of a certain thing, or who knows what, and they lie so much, you have to use discernment. They could say, oh, this is just a chunk of ground that had sea moss with these little things on the end that washed up. But if it's moving on its own, you just have to pay attention to the little details, because it could blow their whole theory. If it's rock and all that, if they say that and it's moving, well then that's a lie. That means that this thing's one huge organism with every single tentacle and everything connected to it, a part of it, which is crazy. I mean, we see coral reefs and things like that, and reefs themselves, coral reefs, are alive, you see. So, interesting, nonetheless. I will leave a link. And until next time, this has been Dabu7. Much love, y'all.